Let me at 'em!
Well, there it is. Hello and welcome to a WTiiWarcraft Patron Q&A. Hello. And we have a question. It's from Faleric. And he says, here goes my question for the monthly Q&A as well. How would you, as a veteran commentator like the community, do to bring a resurgence to Warcraft 3? So there's a couple of ways to look at that, because are you asking me, as a veteran commentator, what would I like the community to do to bring a resurgence to Warcraft 3, or what would I do? Well, I guess I'll try and answer both. So, as for the community, to bring a resurgence to Warcraft 3 is to simply show interest. That's the best way to get there, isn't it? If you show enough interest and the videos and all of that sort of like provide enough views, etc., and Blizzard start to hearken on and go, oh, people are still into this game, maybe we can do something with that, then that's probably the best way. Generally speaking, that sends a sort of like very subliminal message that gets through eventually, such as the advertisement that I sort of like picked up on recently, where they started advertising in Warcraft 3 again. They advertised World of Warcraft in Warcraft 3, and there are other games like StarCraft 2 and Hearthstone and things like that. So that's, I mean, it's weird that they weren't always doing that. So someone either just came up with the idea to do it one day, or they just thought, oh, there's still people playing this game, well, we can advertise in here as well, and that sort of puts it on their radar as well. So people creating maps, mods, skins, Hive Workshop, basically. A lot of the hard work goes on there, and people are very committed to that, so that goes a long way to sort of like put Warcraft 3 on the map. People creating videos, obviously, such as myself and other YouTubers and Twitch streamers, and it's very big in China still, I believe. I think Foe and Imphian, some of them, like, they get massive amounts of viewership on like Twitch, like astronomical. Like, I swear I've seen it like 18,000. It's like 18,000. That seems like a lot, but yeah, there you go. I mean, according to sort of like the War 3 Arena keeps tabs on like those streaming Warcraft 3, so they do a good job as well. I was sort of like bringing it to the people, the competitive side of Warcraft 3, making it a bit more accessible, so that helps as well. And it shows other people streaming it, which is where I sort of saw that, and I was like, oh my goodness, there's still a lot of people interested. So it's not necessarily just in the western side of things, it could be more so in the eastern side of the world where people are still interested in Warcraft 3. Either way, people just being interested in the first place seems like an obvious answer, but it is true. You know, if no one cares, then they won't do anything. It's as simple as that. But if enough people care or kick up a fuss or complain, etc., you know, if you get enough people whining, then they'll have to do something. That's the way sort of big companies work, is if you get enough sort of like noisy people, they have to respond to it. They can't keep them all quiet. So, yeah, I think just keep on creating maps and stuff like that. For example, I mean, I've been doing these map reviews. Previously, before that, I was doing map revamps, because that was shortly after the period of when Blizzard did actually come back and change the maps. And it was like, oh, this is awesome. I mean, I didn't like that many of the maps, but I liked the fact that we had different maps. It felt like it breathed new life into the game. And obviously they reset the ladder at the same time, which was huge. It's like, oh wow, this is cool. It's actually really fun to sort of play again now, because I could play now, but there's like almost no point. Do you know what I mean? I play for streams and for fun and to entertain people and create games and strategies. I love doing that. But I couldn't just sit on the ladder right now. I may as well sit on the ladder in another game and progress in those games, because there's no sense of real progression at the moment in Warcraft 3. So they really need to work towards giving you that feeling of progression, daily quests or whatever it might be, or ladder rankings that actually mean something, where hackers haven't got like 800 wins and 2 losses. How did they get that? Because they disconnected everyone in every single game, apart from a couple where they probably accidentally disconnected themselves. Well, that seems worthwhile trying to get rank 1. All you need to do is get 800 wins, 801 wins and 2 losses, and that's what you have to do. Easy, right? Yeah, so that kind of messes things up. But yeah, I was saying I did like the map revamps, because they brought in new maps, and it's like, well, the maps are okay, but to be fair, they kind of almost felt like they just chucked a whole bunch of maps and didn't really understand how it would impact the meta of the current Warcraft 3 meta, and to such a degree that they actually went back on a change not too long afterwards, and they've reset the ladder again. So, yeah, they haven't come back to us on that, and that was a few months ago now, and they were supposed to do something, so I don't know what they're building up to, whether they're just going to leave it a long time, who bloody knows. But I was sort of revamping the maps, so to speak, going over current Blizzard maps that exist, and thinking, how could you change this? How could you make this better? That's really what I'm after. What do people do in the current meta? And it's not so much just for the current meta, because you could create a whole new meta, but pretty much based on how maps are laid out and designed. But at the same time, you've got to be very careful, because people are very familiar now. We've got to a point where people know what they want from a map and stuff like that. And if you try to change it too much, it's just going to put people off. It's not going to be a case of, oh wow, this is so exciting, let's all take on this challenge together, because there's 17 ramps in this map and I've got to go up, 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 and everything can't be seen. It's just like, you can't change it too much. You've got to keep the maps more or less the same, but make sure they've got enough playability in them, such as the shops, the mercenary camps, and all this kind of stuff. So, I think the map revamps, like people sending in the maps, me sort of like commentating and just doing what I'm doing, I guess, would help. Try to bring back Warcraft 3. I know that Blizzard have interest in it, because again, I made a video about that, sort of like, you know, it being brought to my attention by fans. Thank you very much at the time. Let me know that Blizzard were basically looking for another sort of artist, or a bunch of artists, wasn't it? Sort of like, not even artists, like coders, programmers, like actual sort of like computer technicians to a degree. I don't know. I'm not a computer technician myself, but you get the idea. People that actually work on the old school Blizzard games. Well, they already did the Lost Vikings. They already did Rock and Roll Racing. They did Blackthorn, which I played on the other channel, the WTii one, WTii1. It's the #1. It does exist, for those of you that aren't aware that, oh yeah, you actually had another channel? Yeah, I did have another channel. I've got shite tons of Warcraft 3, so feel free to check that out on that channel. But yeah, they did Blackthorn, which I played recently, versus Pracky, and I didn't do very well. He managed to complete the game. I didn't. I rage quit in the end, because it got so fucking stressful. So when they do revamp these games, they better make sure they do a good job. Otherwise, we're all going to just rage quit from Warcraft 3 if they screw up that revamp. But yeah, basically the idea is that they're going to revamp potentially StarCraft, Warcraft 3, those kind of games that aren't so long ago, but quite a while ago now. If you think like 13 years ago or so, I think now. So yeah, they need to get cracking with that. And to be honest, I thought they were going to do a revamp for Warcraft 2 more than any of the other Warcraft franchises. Still yet to see that, because I'm pretty sure it was heavily rumoured that they would do that. And I thought last BlizzCon is when they would do it, because it's 20 years since Warcraft 1. Or at least they revamped Warcraft 1, you know, that kind of thing. They haven't done that. So this year's BlizzCon would be, I think, 20 years. Well, I don't think so. I think it was last year, to be fair. Because it came out 1995, I think, Warcraft 2. And Warcraft 1 was 1994. So obviously we're hitting into 2016 now. So 2016 BlizzCon, yeah. I don't know. I guess it'll be about time. 20 years or so is enough time to sort of revamp it, if you're going to bloody well do it, I'd say. So I was pretty sure they were going to do some sort of like special announcement of that, but they never did. And now people are very keen on the idea of them revamping Warcraft 3. We saw a while ago that they were creating new models in the StarCraft 2 engine. Part of me was thinking that was mostly just for the benefit of Heroes of the Storm, to create character models for that, because Heroes of the Storm uses a lot of characters such as Illidan and stuff like that from the Warcraft franchise, so they needed to update that model, make him new, fresh, so they've kind of already got that model in there, but they got a lot in there. Like, they genuinely have a lot of the Warcraft 3 models all revamped, and I mean, you got Armies of Azeroth coming out as well. That's doing sort of like working on Blizzard models, modders and stuff like that. There's a lot of like that sort of thing helps, I suppose, to sort of like get people keen on it. And if the more responses they get, the more keen people will be, I suppose. So yeah, it's just kind of there is still quite a lot of hype around Warcraft 3, and let's face it, a lot of us play World of Warcraft. I fucking love World of Warcraft, but it's not what it was, and I think people are at that tail end part of it now where they want the next Warcraft. It's like World of Warcraft came out, so there couldn't be a Warcraft 4. Well, now Warcraft. Well, I'm still going to play the next World of Warcraft expansion, but not like super seriously like I did back in the day. So people are getting to the point where they kind of want that next Warcraft 4. And I don't see them making a StarCraft 3. StarCraft 2 was not modern enough. Why would you make Why would you make StarCraft 3? Like, kind of tied things off. So it's got to be Warcraft 4 if they were to revamp. And even then, people were saying like there needs to be a new Diablo. But Diablo was like the most recent one. That was like 2012. So why would there be a Diablo 4 when there hasn't even been a Warcraft 4? And that was 2002 when the Warcraft 3 came out. So, yeah, there's a lot of hype around the potential of a new Warcraft. But I've always said, like, people ask me questions like, when is the new Warcraft 3 coming out? Warcraft 4, well, I suppose new Warcraft 3, depending on how close they get it to the original game without fucking it up. And I always said, like, 2018 minimum for, like, alpha. Because I think they may announce it potentially this BlizzCon or even next BlizzCon, but they won't let you play it. It'll still be like a year or two down the line. And even then it wouldn't necessarily be coming out. They still got Overwatch. So Overwatch is their baby for this year. So then you have to think, well, what are they doing for 2017, 2018, 2019? New IP? I don't know about that. Overwatch is a brand new IP. It's obviously taken a lot of resources and time and effort. And they've also got Hearthstone, which was pretty recent. There's nothing to say they couldn't create another IP. Maybe they're working towards mobile games, though, because they bought out Candy Crush. So they want to create the next big mobile game, and they won't bother anymore with RTS. So really, it's hard to tell whether there is a definite Warcraft 4 down the line. I mean, you could logically say, well, enough years go by, and what are they going to do? Again, like I was saying, for 2017, 18, 19, what are they planning on really doing? But it's nothing to say that they would necessarily bring back Warcraft. They could just continue going down this new IP road where they bring out new games once every couple of years, and that is the new hype. We don't know, really. But all I can say, really, to your question is keep watching, keep viewing, keep putting effort in, and doing what you guys do. Because you guys also keep Warcraft 3 alive. By watching this video, by watching whatever Warcraft 3 content that you currently watch, by just being interested in the game, is a great way to keep it alive. So hopefully Blizzard do cotton onto that and they reset the ladder and get us going again with the new maps. I might continue to do the map revamp, but I've got into a backlog at the moment with the freaking map reviews. So there's a difference. Like I say, map revamp is where I'm looking at the Blizzard maps and changing them, whereas map review is where I'm looking at your maps that you send in, and I'm probably going to get a bunch now sent in. They're starting to become like the strategies now. So you send them into WTiiWarcraft@gmail.com. I'm kind of doing them in order. I might end up getting to a point where I might need to be a bit snobbish and go, well, that doesn't look good enough to review. I haven't done that yet. I've been fair. I've always tried to be that way, and it's sometimes to my own detriment, where I think I do need to sometimes put my foot down and go, look, mate, I'm sorry, this doesn't quite cut the mustard. We're going to have to move on to the next one, because like I say, I'm getting into a backlog, and people will sort of keep asking me questions. Oh, have you looked at my map? Yeah, have you looked at my map? Well, no, not really, because you're like freaking 15th down the line, and I can't put these videos out every day. So, you know, it's going to take a couple of months to end up getting down to your map. So, yeah, there's only so much one can do. But as long as one does do what one does, then hopefully we can get a new Warcraft 4. That's what I was trying to get to at the end of the day. Alright then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Continue to support. Thank you very much. This has been brought to you by Patreon.com. Valoric, as a raider over there. You don't have to be a raider. You can just be a peon. A peon is a $1 donation, and if you do donate that $1 for the month, then you'll get yourself an extra Warcraft 3 video for that month. So consider becoming a patron. Check the video description below, and otherwise just keep watching, liking, and subscribing, and staying tuned. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.